Society celebrates the lone wolf. We reward the person who grinds through the weekend, asks for no assistance, and scales the summit entirely on their own strength. Total self-reliance has become a gold standard for modern achievement. In practice, this means refusing to delegate a single task at work and carefully swallowing every ounce of personal stress. It requires hiding every hint of struggle to maintain an aura of total control. But a line exists where healthy capability ends. We have to look at what happens when the drive to rely only on yourself is pushed to a pathological extreme. This spectrum maps the progression. We move past codependence, through healthy independence, and lock into a rigid, isolated extreme on the far right, hyper-independence. This state acts as the armor of the solitary soul, a psychological trauma response designed to mask deep, unaddressed vulnerability. This armor is typically forged in environments where caregivers or support systems are highly unreliable or unsafe. This creates a specific psychological equation. Presenting vulnerability to an unreliable source results in danger. To ensure pain never repeats, the brain erects an invisible psychological barrier, effectively cutting off the capacity to rely on others for survival. In adult life, this defense mechanism causes individuals to preemptively abandon relationships just as they achieve true intimacy, sabotaging connections before they can become risky. Hyper-independent individuals often believe they are simply being highly responsible, unaware they are actually operating from a deep-seated survival instinct. The armor works. It successfully prevents acute betrayal. However, its design guarantees a life of chronic isolation. This is the architectural paradox of the fortress. A wall designed to keep enemies out also traps the inhabitant inside. There is a heavy biological cost. While a normal nervous system recovers and undulates, a hyper-independent system stays jagged, flooded with chronic cortisol to maintain a perpetual high-alert state. This frequency eventually leads to a bone-deep physical and mental burnout that no amount of sleep can fix. It creates a strange emotional state, the visceral feeling of being completely alone while surrounded by supportive colleagues and friends. The defense mechanism lacks a filter. The brain cannot distinguish between a threat trying to cause harm and a loved one offering support. The ultimate attempt to protect the self ends up draining the energy needed to actually live. Shedding this armor becomes a necessity because mechanisms built for sheer survival are incompatible with a thriving life. We move instead toward a state known as interdependence. Interdependence represents the terrifying middle ground between losing your identity in codependency and isolating yourself in hyperindependence. Reaching this state requires the courage to experience temporary, managed vulnerability, allowing others to share the load. This requires a reframe. Asking for help is an act of bravery that many mistake for weakness. Dismantling these defenses will feel inherently wrong at first. Letting go of control triggers the same alarms the brain used to stay safe for years. Dismantling the fortress does not leave you defenseless. It means finally unlocking the gates so the right people can